हार गयो सारी रंग की गगरी मोह पे डार गयो सारी रंग की गगरी
Hello.
Hey,
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm sorry,
Uh,
before I just want to know what's your good name? Because is it actually Biplab or like am I even pronouncing it right?
yeah, it's Biplab.
Biplab.
Am I bright? Because I'm in a low light thing. Okay.
No, no, no,
So my
perfectly visible and audible.
okay, cool. So yeah, what's up?
You tell me what's up, what's happening. Thank you for doing
Yeah,
this. I found your work to
yeah,
be very
really
interesting.
great initiative like what you're doing right now. I mean, it's the way. So yeah, so my name is Biplab. Yeah, I am from the region, Jharkhand,
Oh yeah, of course I know that.
Jamshedpur.
Yeah, I have heard, definitely heard. Like I don't know where exactly, but I've heard. I'm sure.
And it's a private town. It's a Tata Steel's town.
Okay.
So yeah, I'm from there, and I've been in Bangalore for like I studied in Baldwins. If you know Baldwins, do you know Baldwins?
No, like
Do you
in
know?
Bangalore, you mean?
Yeah,
In Bangalore, you mean?
yeah.
Oh, no, no, no. See, that's the thing. Like, I was in Bangalore, but I stayed in Yalanka. That is
Okay.
like out of Bangalore. So when you're entering Bangalore, it says like "Welcome to Bangalore," and when you actually like go to the city. So I was like, oh shit! Like I'm actually not in Bangalore, but like kind of near. So yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I might know a lot of Sisti guys because I just moved back to Bangalore last year, 2019. So I was in Delhi for like a good 5 years, in Hyderabad for some time. And I
Wait, you
was
studied in Bangalore and then like you moved around. Is that what you're saying? Or you studied in Jharkhand and then you came to Bangalore? Because you've been
so
places.
Yeah, so I've been doing a lot of things. I started my career from Bangalore. Then I moved on doing like a lot of things inside the event space and the creative side of it. So I like I left Bangalore in 2014 and I got back in 2019 again. So all these years I was just traveling. I was in Delhi. I was mostly around Delhi, Bombay, Hyderabad. This was my I was to come for Bangalore just for vacations.
Oh, really?
So which batch you are from, Srishti?
I'm from what? Like maybe 2 years back. So that's 20. See, I graduated 2018 or 2017. And immediately I again like joined another college. So I'm just like, I don't particularly remember, but yeah, just like 2017, I think. I think 2017, 2018.
And what did you do with
So
Srishti? What did you study?
I was graphic designer. So
Okay.
I did graphic design, and that was for 4 years. I freelanced around that time, and then I jumped after graduation. I jumped with my dad. So we are automobile dealers. So shifted my complete background to business. Studied for a year in SP Jain, Mumbai. I don't know if you've heard about that college, but um, there for a year, and then I was actually um, like probably going around because of the course. But yeah, that happened, and then I've been here in Hubli itself. So I've been like exploring my creative side as well, because I consider myself to be creative, at least in some way, and I like to express it in whatever I do. So alongside that, I started Salvage, and then started making lights, and I was like, but like Salvage is born not to make just lights, you know, it was an idea, so like a concept, and I wanted to explore a little bit of it, and then I was like, oh wait, let's just like probably search or communicate with more people who has the same kind of vibe, who do like these things like very creative stuff. Could be I don't know now. I don't know much about you, so we'll find that out. But like, I didn't want to stick to sustainability. It was like a little bit narrow. I wanted it to be open ended. So I started like of course, being in Shishti, I found some of my friends who are doing amazingly well, and then via, and just randomly started texting people, and I was like, hey, you're open to like having a conversation on Zoom, and people are pretty supportive about it. So that's how, and I'm having some amazing conversations, man. Like and it's like it's pretty interesting, like randomly just like, and it's like, yeah, cool, let's do it. And I don't like to have a script. That's the thing. Otherwise, it's not natural at all. Like, when you're
Yeah.
having conversations, there is no like certain questions like we're just going to stick to this. I didn't want to have this interview kind of a thing. It's more of exchange perspectives and personalities and all of that. So yeah. And now we're here.
Yeah. So I mean, I know a lot of 60 guys. I have worked with a lot of like designers all my career. So I've been working from last 8-9 years. This is,
Wow.
and tried my career. I studied BBM. Okay, BBM from Bangalore, Bangalore University in Baldwins, and then I did a post graduation course which was on digital. Digital was just entered in, like not many people knew about. A lot of mass communication students knew about digital and the graphic part of it. I mean, back in 2010, there was graphic design. There used to be only like people who used to know Corel Draw. I mean, that was the only thing people used to know. And Adobe was just entered, and only premium people who learned designs and who are getting into the design space, they were like getting into the Adobe side of it, because a lot of easier tutorials were available on internet. So that was a shift. I mean, I grew up and my career started from there. Like, well, people, the sudden revolution of internet blasted in our country, and like YouTube was just like picking up. A lot of musicians got into and the event space was becoming larger. Like from small room to big room artists coming to India, like Swedish House Mafia kind of artists coming back in days. So things moved from Adobe, like Corel Draw to Adobe. So that shift, I saw it in my like in the initial stage of. So as soon as I finished my digital marketing course, digital marketing, it was more of a PR advertising course. I mean, digital was just new. People just knew very techy things on internet. Like when you talk about digital things, digital marketing, people used to see a lot of Google things happening. But there's a rest of other things which you see it on your computer, on your devices, that enhances the part of it. So my digital marketing part started from event career. So my first job was Metallica concert. I was doing a backstage management, but and Twitter was just like launched, and only a lot of influencer or maybe artists used to use Twitter back in days. Not a regular like.
Twitter is now a platform for the artists now. Like I don't know. I haven't
It
heard of.
wasn't. It wasn't an artist. It was a social platform where people had to communicate. So my second, so in this course we had to do 4 internships in different industry. Okay, so I chose events, and then PR, then like radio, or you do a print media. So a lot of people who were writers, like who love writing and stuff, they moved to a journalism side of it from my batch. And a lot of people got excited about events and doing corporate events, like arranging. I mean, what a lot of management part of it. So they moved into the that part of creative side. I mean, that is a very vast field of creative where you just think of it something and you make it happen. Like executing an event, like a large scale events. Yeah.
Well, not all
So like
games.
it's a dream come true.
Do it event management, event designing, and all of this. And especially, I think Bangalore is a hub for that because there are a lot of gigs happening. There are a lot of artists like coming and playing. Of course, there's Delhi, there's Hyderabad, and there's Bangalore. At least for South, I think.
Bombay also. Yeah, Bombay is the. I mean, if you ask me the comparative events, how this things in our country happens,
Yeah.
like Bangalore would be like 10 years down what Delhi produces as an event. Yes.
Really?
I was so so my first job was after Metallica happened, I was doing a lot of backstage management, and that was my first ever job. And I being in small town, then coming to a Bangalore city and getting into the first job of backstage management at Metallica. So I was like very like mesmerized of things like how what's I mean, it was so much things to see inside event, and that is a live event sector. So there I met few people who were managing me. So they run. So Metallica happened when in Delhi it got cancelled because of all the fights happened in Delhi. I don't know if you know which 2011 it happened in Bangalore. So that was the biggest concert ever happened in Bangalore. There was a 50,000-60,000 people led together. I mean, so many people lost their international flights, and it was massive. Like it was a massive thing happened in Bangalore. Music revolution. Yeah, I mean, so many people lost their like people came with bags, laptop, iPads, and iPods. So they had to leave outside all those things, and they went inside. This concert was the craziest concert I've ever like seen or been experienced. I mean, I saw tattoos and I saw like crazy. I mean, the style, the
Like,
fashion of
like
and the people who came to attend the event. Yeah,
so,
the metal, how a metal concert looks like, it was that real. Like there were mosh pits happening, there was people getting crazy drunk and like insane. So I met people where sorry.
when they're talking about these groups, how many people did end up coming to this concert?
So on paper, it was some 50,000 plus people were there. They wrote in 2011. This I'm talking about
Concert.
because yeah, concert in Palace Ground. So the Delhi concert didn't happen because of some sponsorship, and so that got cancelled. So a lot of people flew from Delhi to Bangalore to attend the concert, and a lot of people came from Malaysia, Singapore, like Southeast Asia, Sri Lanka, Maldives. People came from there to see Metallica. So I mean, I have never seen crazier fan than that concert ever. So after that, I met few people who were working as a part of Metallica DNA's property. So I joined this company called Liquid Space Entertainment. So they used to organize Storm Festival in Coorg. You know Coorg? Coorg. In Coorg, there's a place called Napa Club.
Yeah,
Coorg, yeah. Kodugu, yeah.
Yeah, Kodugu.
So that was the India's first camp out music festival, happened in 2011 and 12. And it was happening at 5,000 feet above the sea level. There's a place called Napa Club in Coorg. So the second internship I did with those guys, and the first year of the festival, I was just managing artists because they saw me managing a lot of artists, like getting their things like I mean, each artist has their press kit, okay, and their tech riders. So you have to balance. I mean, you have to provide them whatever is on the track riders. So my job was to like manage Indian Ocean, Raghu Lagori that time. I mean, I was taking care of the artist village camp. Like, so everybody used to say, I mean, this was the first camp out festival in our country. So it was a very crazy experience of like 3 days festival at the jungle. So
I think
there are
events like back to back. After Metallica,
yeah, it was constant. It was constant. So they said you knew so much, and a lot of people got stuck while, I mean, back in days the Google Maps wasn't so popular. There were other apps people used to use, right? So a lot of people were getting lost in the jungle, like in Coorg, in the valley, right? So I was just tweeting about that you follow this route, and they have made an like itinerary where we have to. These are the pit points you can take the turns from there and all. So I was just tweeting about those. I'm just retweeting those to whoever is getting stuck. So like a lot of tweets got retweeted by like Nikhil Chinappa has retweeted few tweets of mine. So I was already like, I mean, I was the person who was communicating as a mascot to the people, but I wasn't a part of the organization. I was just interning with them as a project. So the next year they said, oh, you know so much about the festival, why don't you come and join the agency who is doing the digital marketing for us? So I got hired without any, like, the client said, you take this person and do your social media things. So I was managing my work and sending to my, I mean, the payroll of my job was from the agency, and this is a really cool agency I work with. They called Happiness Interactive. It's like a bunch of Mallu guys running in Bangalore and Kormangla. So fun. So
Are they still up? The
yeah, they are massive now. They are massive. They have like huge property, like huge space in Jayanagar. Yeah, somewhere in Jayanagar. So so the problem with festivals, it happens once in a year. Okay, and I did the social media part during the event, and the rest of the days I had to do other things, as in they had, I mean, my job was music plus digital marketing, whatever I know. And I used to influence a lot of people, I mean, I used to send out, well, I knew each and every person who were commenting on the page. So it was so fresh, and the page, I saw the page growing from 1,000 to 20,000 in the range of, and people coming and appreciating things, and a lot of artists started sharing things. So I used to tag them. I mean, back in days, not people, many people used to tag with their, I mean, respective things. So I used to tag a lot of artists, and they used to retweet, they used to repost. So that became the entire.
um, it kind of happened naturally, right, for you to like,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
you didn't like, it wasn't told that
What
you
is Instagram today?
kind of did it that time. Now this is very early.
This is
I'm talking
this is
very
this is
early,
like
and it's
2010.
getting hit by so many like likes and like followers and like getting that much
Yeah.
recognition. I think you nailed it at that time. Like
Yeah, man. I mean, I knew each and every person who was commenting and who was like connecting. So what happened was, a lot of people bought tickets and Book My Show was crashing. So we had to mail each and every person who had bought the tickets, like the itinerary for what the festival will look like. So I had to manage a database of people who are like, they who have bought like the day pass, who has bought a like a weekend pass, like a segregate all
it
data.
was a madhouse for you
Sorry.
because you did so many things. It was a madhouse, right?
Because and my job became to ideate, brainstorm with the, like, self brainstorm, go to my agency guy. He will say, okay, this is good, we can send it to the client. So they will approve, and then I get sit with the designer and like ideate more, color palette, everything, and then post it. So my job was like just coordinate. I mean, and throughout that I met so many designers, because my job became like understand, get it designed, and get it posted. That was my key thing. So after a certain point, when festival got over and there's no work, like, and the company used to do majorly on like SEO and website designings. They used to less social media things. They were, because not many people were approached to social media, like a small budget clients. Okay, now everybody wants to spend on social media, but 10 years ago nobody was like very insecure about spending, how this digital world works. And agencies used to charge a lot, so people used to scare, like, but now it's so feasible that any individual can run ads and everything. So they used to get all these builders clients. Okay, so my job was to do a social media for like a monthly apartments, and like Ozone Urbana, like Salarpuria group.
That's your answer.
Because look,
But
I waited for 1 year to handle the storm page was there, storm festival page was there, but I was just scheduling post. Okay, because no festivals, you were just archiving things and showcasing what happened at the festival, like resharing videos and like photos which has already been shared during the event. So all those things are became very auto thing. So my boss was like, now you have to do something else. You can't be sitting and doing this. So like they gave me all this like back to back, and real estate was just boom. They were spending uh, lot of investments on digital marketing, on like those, and it was easier. Suppose you bid for a, I don't know if you know about a lot of SEO and SCM things. So I'll just give you an
I know,
example, interesting example.
and I'm
Huh?
still trying to figure out, to be very honest, because I also
Yeah,
come from India where
it will
I didn't have
take,
phones
unless
there.
you practice.
I didn't know what internet was and all of that. And like, I'm starting now, to be very honest. I'm way behind where you started, to be like very frank, like, but this is still like, but I'm
So
saying
how,
it's huge. The digital
yeah,
platform, the social media, I think there's a lot more potential in future. I mean, I think we're just starting out. We're just starting.
I mean, that's the. I mean, when I was doing, I remember when I was studying digital. I was the only guy who was taking this digital subject. The rest, everybody took like advertising, PR, and events kind of a thing. So I was. I mean, I wanted to, because that time music just introduced on internet. Okay, and I used to consume like all kind of music, all kind of things on internet, which is in like uplifted with music. So I mean, all the, like, I used to follow Tiesto Club Life back in days. So every Thursday was the Tiesto Club Life podcast. So all those things were happening, and a lot of people, they just moved on to the event. So I got stuck with the digital, and I was not placed. So I had to do another internship. Then these guys said, okay, the Storm was my second internship with them. So okay, you can come and join us because you know so much, you know the festival, and you can handle the digital part of it. And the one more event I did in that between it was called Indrasan Music Festival. It happens in Parvati Valley. It was a complete psychedelic trance, and that was the craziest. Like that change. I mean, I opened the page, and within like 2-3 weeks, people just exploded on that because what happened back in days. Facebook used to have groups, okay? People, all this cult party and like ravers used to have a group particular. And then if you enter the group, you get to know about what is happening or not. So what I did, I converted that page had already 6,000 people on that group globally. Like a lot of Israelis used to come for these hippie parties. So I converted that group to an page. So I got the same followers who were there in the group, and that page just became like viral because already 6,000 people were talking, like interactively talking every day on that group. And suddenly I made that page to like a group to an page. So that page became viral. I mean, I couldn't go for the festival, but my bosses went and they just like had a great time there because it's a completely like a isolation party where
Hello? You just got stuck. Sorry. Yeah.
sorry. So yeah, so then I discovered my creative energies and like the aesthetics what I follow. It is through sitting with lot of designers, lot of like-minded people who think in a like multi-dimensional. My last job was with Phoenix Live, where I was working as a content, like I was taking care of the IP properties. So one of the festival I was doing, it's called Riders Music Festival, which happened in Delhi. It's a partnership property with Red FM guys. So it's a 2-day festival happening at Jawaharlal Nehru Stadium, and the musicians, indie independent music, like the headliners were Amit Trivedi and the entire Entourage and Lucky Ali kind of thing. But we were engaging a lot of indie music scene from Delhi, like who are already participated in the bigger platforms like Stage 2 kind of a thing. So my job became very uh, curating stuff rather than a marketing kind of a thing because I was lost. Like, what am I doing? Am I doing marketing? Am I doing like intellectual property stuff? Am I curating stuff? And my job was think about idea, get it designed, and then I mean, the presentation goes out. So job was like in this process, I saw a lot of transition happening within the design system, like how Indian scenario and designers learning, because I see a lot of creative blockage between a lot of people who did graphics, who did art, like a fine art, then a graphic, then then a lot of software things basically. I mean, so I saw that transition happening because people who already knew Adobe, they made a massive change in their careers and everything. Who knew Corel, they became a different dimensional artist because they work in not inch, not feet. Like they begin on a like a larger dimensions, like if you see any kind of a bigger illustration when you do it on a bigger platform, it's Coral. I mean, people had to go back to Coral. So I used to do a lot of festivals where we promote and make a larger banners and flexes kind of a thing, events. so so where a file comes on a PD, like a PSD file, and then you enlarge it, then the designer gets side. How can I do it? So these are the designers who just learned Adobe, but they have no idea about what was happening in the earlier stage of. So Adobe gives you that. I mean, even if you work on a Mac or a Windows, you see the colors, right? So all those things I have like seen happening. I mean, if something has been designed on a Mac and something has outputted the output is seen in a smaller screen.
Very different.
Yeah, your voice is really low. I don't know.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah,
Are
it's
you
raining
sure?
in Bangalore. Yeah.
It's raining heavily over here as well. I was like, probably the current is going to go, so I don't know, but I'm just going to because it like rain cats and dogs right now. Acha, Bangalore is also. Oh, you're in Bangalore right now. Oh, yeah,
Yeah, Bangalore right now.
you just said that.
So I moved back last year. Before that, I was just all these places, and so yeah. So and in so the Happiness Interactive, there was an agency which I was working for the Storm Festival. Then I moved. I left them because they gave me a lot of like real estate clients, which I was like fed up. Like,
Lot of experience, I think, in terms of, I mean, though you weren't doing the work, but of course you were influenced by the vibe, by the ideas around, and
yeah.
by the work that people were putting out, right? I'm sure you were like, you wanted probably not to manage something, but maybe take this knowledge and like put it out there by yourself. Did you do that? Because of course, as of now, it was all managing events and tackling social media. Did you ever think that you also want to create something of your own? Like, could be anything, could be music or could be art. I don't know.
So I mean, I think I was in that space for a while. Uh, I I like I always while social media was happening in my career, I used to do the postings, okay, and a lot of live things started happening through Snapchats and Instagram things. So my job was to handle their page and do like live event, live photography as well, right? I joined a digital marketing agency. I learned a lot of internet stuff, which is how Google works, if an investor comes and says, okay, I need a 5-click and I want to sell an apartment which is worth of 3 crores. How do I do it? So these are any idea drive with a very small solutions, right? That's you figure that's what you call it an idea. So these small solutions help me to understand a reasoning how people spend money in the entire like this is a whole world of brand spend, right? I mean, people spend millions of money on like marketing and promoting, and how do you justify them? Like billions of money, Nike spends each video they spend billions of money to go and
Insane.
so I understood like okay, if it's a very interesting thing to know how Google operates. Okay, so you bid for like a 10,000 okay per click, and you spend a lakh. Okay, out of five, so in a lakh you get 10 clicks. Like in a lakh, 10,000 rupees per click. In 1 lakh you get 10 clicks. Out of 10 clicks, if you reach out to the right audience,
In 1 lakh, meaning 1 lakh amount if I put for the
yeah,
number of clicks. So I'm going to get
for
10,000 clicks is what you're saying. If I put
per
1 lakh.
click, no, you spend if you're
Per
using
click,
like
1 lakh.
you know how YouTube works.
Yeah, but there is like marketing. I know it's like this, but this is a little confusing.
I
Can
mean,
you,
the spend marketing cost per click, how it works.
could you just elaborate it? Let's like
Yeah.
start.
So each banner you see on YouTube, it is
Yeah.
worth a day a crore. Okay. It comes, yeah, that kind of bidding starts. So suppose if any company, any like a Fortune 500 companies, because they are the people who run the internet, like spending so much money on internet. So I'll give you an example of away, and the highest number of clicks. I mean, depending on the region and the market research. Suppose somewhere in Bangalore, the properties are now, people are looking at properties because properties are cheap right now, because not many people are spending. So what Google will do, Google will take your amount, it'll bifurcate into a five. Like suppose you're spending for 1 crore flat, and the first spend is 1 lakh rupees. Okay, out of 1 lakh, you're bidding 10,000 per click. If you somebody clicks on your link for it, then your 10,000 is gone. Okay, so you get out of 10 clicks, you found one potential customer. Okay, and you sold the flat. So how much did you spend on marketing to sell a 1 crore flat? 1 lakh. So, so this is what the psychology of internet works. I mean, it completely depends on how much you're bidding, and the bidding works out well. I mean, you are like selling it out. So all these basic things I started learning from this agency, and then I moved to an experiential marketing agency. Do you know what is experiential marketing? The term experiential marketing. So experiential marketing is basically you giving an experience through your brand. Suppose your channel is producing a content which giving an experience to people who can share their voices, right? So how do you make it more experiential towards it? You collaborate. Okay, then you make it happen in a studio space. Like people can come to your studio and talk about your, like, have a talk session. Then you're endorsing a brand who is supporting this entire situation. So that is where the experiential marketing experts get in. Like, how do you make your brand larger than life? Like, how do you describe a YouTube channel which is like, this is my whole life? I mean, so that is where so my first client was Nokia. And at that time Nokia had launched their 1020 mega. There's a like 1020 megapixel there's Nokia 1020. Do you remember this phone? There's some 40 megapixel camera. It was a big screen. So my company was based out of Chennai. It's called Beep Experience Management. I was working at the Bangalore branch, and this was a task where Nokia was already the retail client. They have to do a lot of below the line activity, where like a lot of mall exhibitions and like um, activations, right? Brand activations.
Let's just say I don't know any. Let's just say I don't know any. Because see, I don't
So,
know the terms that you're using right now. And
so
trust me, the explosion
marketing
was
is, I
the
tell you, marketing is like a two-way division. Okay, so ATL is whatever you see, like whatever you consume through your eyes and ears. That is a above the line activity, and BTL is whatever you experience through going to an event, like consuming a product, having an experience. So ATL is like a radio, newspaper, hoardings. Those are ATL, and BTL is basically you doing an and you're doing an PR, you're doing an anything which is physically required. So marketing has been divided into these shifts, where this entire media industry collaborate together. So experiential comes into the picture where everything's make it like a 360-degree marketing channel. Suppose you're doing an event, you are also promoting on internet, also doing a promotion with influencers, also doing promotions with your partners, like everything cross-branded. So that's where the experiential comes. So I was working with this with Nokia at that time, and Nokia's new phone was launched, and everybody were really excited to see a like 40 megapixel camera phone. And Nokia sponsors IIT Madras. They have this festival called Sarang. Every year they have it. It's an inter-college festival, like a huge thing in South India. Like a lot of engineering college go mad about going to Sarang as a festival. And this college is built inside a wildlife sanctuary. So you see a lot of deer, like peacocks, snakes. Yeah, IIT Madras. I mean, if you get to meet any IIT Madras, they'll tell you a lot of stories about the jungle. So it's deep inside a jungle, like basically wildlife sanctuary. And it's a 10-day festival where a lot of inter-college things happens, and IIT itself, they produces a lot of innovative programs, right? So what I did, I picked 10 volunteers from the college who were really interested about photos and videos, and like going like clicking like a very I mean very enthusiastic boys who came in the picture, and I gave them 10 phones. Their job is to go each and every corner of the IIT, and because people were, they were practicing, they were doing rehearsals, there were performance happening inside the auditoriums, inside the classrooms, the smaller functions. So they did the best because they knew this, the college. I don't know the college. Okay, so I give them the camera. They have to go take videos, photos, come back. I'll transfer the data, charge the phone, give them back. Then, 10 days this happened, and at the end I collected all the videos and made like a small highlight movie of what happened in the 10 days, like a very like a small transitions, and like a and this video was played, and this was one of the deliverables from Nokia, that you have to do this, like you have to make a video and play it on the watch out screen of 80 feet. So their screen is 80 feet big, like so we had to project this on the 80 feet screen of the auditorium. And just before, like Benny Dale was supposed to perform, and we had like 15 minutes of changeover where I had to play like a multiple times, so that and people went mad because nobody knew that they're getting recorded, and it was through a phone. So people got like really like, everybody just started screaming whenever that video came out. It was fun. So that's where I put in my experiential part of it, and that video went on, of course, on internet, on their page, and then became one of the deliverables for Nokia, that they were sponsoring the video as well to Saran. They sponsored like a lot, like 50-60 lakhs kind of a sponsorship they do for the colleges. So that thing happened, and one of the event was made on this Beep, they used to they do a lot of experiential things, like experiential things in terms of uh, making it very raw and very like quirky kind of a stuff. So one of the event was the Hindu newspaper. Yeah. So they became number second in Bangalore. Okay, sorry, number first in Bangalore. It till now it was Times of India. This is back in days. Not now. So they wanted to do a grand, like a celebration out of it. Like they became number one in Bangalore in terms of subscriptions, as something on those, like circulation. Sorry, not, they call it circulation, not subscriptions. Circulation. So uh, so they booked this hotel called ITC. What is that hotel next to golf course?
I don't.
ITC.
Is it it's not Leela for sure. It is something.
The golf.
Yeah, but I know what you're talking about. Is it
Uh, no, ITC.
something? I'm not remembering.
Vincent Man.
I know
ITC.
it's close.
ITC Vincent Man.
Yeah. Maybe.
It's
Maybe.
just next to the golf course, if you know, in Bangalore.
Yes.
So yeah, there's one of the, this is a very heritage property. This is like, so one of, a lot of Kamal Hassan's movies were shot there on that hotel. So very heritage vibe of the hotel. So what we did, and the budget they gave us the brief in like on Wednesday, event is on Saturday, that kind of a situation, and we did not have no time to procure anything. And so what we did, we asked them like some 400 kilos of newspaper, and we decored the entire ballroom with newspaper, like their cards, their like cycles, everything just wrapped up with newspaper. And there was a collaboration, Aligarh D'Souza, who is Chumbak. So she did a collaboration with which was a visual sound collaborations, where she was designing like a lot of Kannada slogans and on a projector, and the other guy Prashant, he was called, yeah. So he was mixing the music with the designs. So like her Adobe is connected, and she's doing in a pen tool, and the music is changing while she's doing it. Like he's mixing his life. That was a fun event. That was very experimental and very like alternative side of.
How many people were there, like for this?
So Chief Minister was there. Siddaramaiah was there, and a lot of like government officials, because it was a media thing. No, they have to call it the biggest of the people in the region, right? So Chief Minister came by before that. Huh?
The newspaper thing.
Sorry.
Whose idea was this anyway? The newspaper thing, like wrap the whole newspaper around.
So they wanted to celebrate a party. This was a party happening at a hotel, and the theme was newspaper. And I mean, so the entire ballroom was decorated with newspaper because they did not have any budget, and it was a very short time. They wanted to, and the chief minister wanted to address that party, so they had to light it up. So there were installations made out of newspaper from nowhere, like very random things happened.
It's
So,
crazy.
but a
It
great experience.
sounds this thing, but I think when you have a
There's a
like,
video on YouTube. I mean, I can share it to you later. There's a
yeah,
video
no,
on YouTube.
yeah.
I did not do much of experiential stuff, but then I moved to. I got an offer from this company from this uh, the last company I was working with, Phoenix Life. So they just started. I mean, they're two boys. They started from Hyderabad, and they wanted to do something very different. So I got inspired because I was missing out my music scene happening while this Nokia and this agency life was happening. I was very I wanted to get into the music space again because I started my career with music, promoting festivals. So I wanted to get back to that situation and get back to the vibe where I started. The 2 3 years of Bangalore was like I was doing random things and I got an opportunity. They called me Hyderabad, and they had already planned one property, which was a Fender the guitar brand Fender. Back in days, that time we partnered with them for a festival where we made an ecosystem where music expo is happening, music workshops are happening, performances are happening, and it's a 3 day festival, and inter college competitions are happening, like rounds of festivals, rounds of, and we did not made any genre kind of a thing. Everybody who's good in vocals, good in having a band, want to represent, they can come and get an, it was like I think 1 lakh rupees price and that guitar. There were two boys who just had an idea, and you have to run around and execute each and everything what they have. And the best part, they have this speaker called function speaker, which is one of the best speakers in the world. So that's how the entire company enhanced with the speakers. Like we doing a premium festivals. After that, we planned another festival which was called Reset. It was an underground techno music festival where we collaborated with an agency called Unmute agency from Delhi, and we did this festival with 40 artists, techno marathon starts from 4 to 4. So people are partying from 4 to 4 a.m. And these were only domestic artists, only homegrown artists from Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, around like all the big cities. So then we started doing a tour of this party. So we came back to Bangalore. We did a concert in Bangalore. We did in Pune. We did in Jaipur. We did in Bombay, Delhi, and it happened for 2 years continuously. Then we planned another festival which is called a Riders Music Festival. It happened in Delhi. It was also a multi-city festival, but we only did it in Delhi. And then one of the largest festival was Life in Color, which is a basically idea of paint party. We started from Miami, and it became a very trending thing, and they call it Life in Color. So instead of you see a lot of confetti coming in the concerts, they throw paints, like a paint which doesn't stick to your body. So we did this same, yeah, the event happened in Delhi.
Delhi, Bombay, Bangalore, Jharkhand. I think you've roamed all of India, yaar, to be very honest.
Not really, I just
Forest, of course, how can we?
So last year I started working with an Indian classical musician. Her name is Nimisha Shankar.
Started working.
Indian classical musician.
Indian classical. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, after all the technos, she's here right here. So I'm just like, so yeah. I mean, after a lot of electronic and a lot of concerts, and I'm currently working on a classical projects where we did a tour last year, which is called Chakra Harmonizing Ragas, where she sings the ragas, and I take care of the visuals happening behind the show. So basically, I project the visuals through yeah, and so basically, this project is all about how Hindustani classical rags and the chakras in our body is completely aligned, and she sings 7 notes on chakra, like 7 notes of rags, where it completely entwined to the chakras, how it evolves in the body. There's a person from Sicily.
Yes. Because I know about this when I was in Shishti, and there was a singer. I don't know if she just visited for a very short time, and she did sing about it. And
Shabnam Virmani.
I'm sure,
Shabnam.
but she did come, and she did talk about Kabir Yatra and all of that.
Yeah.
So
So she has documented this 10-day festival in like in a caravan, and she has like it's a culture exchange documentary which she has made, which we are looking out to an OTT channel to like contribute and like launch it. Then there's a other documentary which is shot at Basar and Machuka. Have you heard of Machuka? Basar. So these are the small villages in Meghalaya, Arunachal, sorry. Yeah. Arunachal Pradesh. And this they have this festival where everything is made on bamboo, like each and every element is on bamboo, and they cook on bamboo. It's crazy. So that is one of the documentary, and of course it's about a folk music which has been produced from those regions. There's another documentary which talks about a music museum in Nepal, which got demolished after, which got like affected during the earthquakes. Now it is rebuilding, and there's a entire things happening there. So these are the things. These are the documentaries which we're going to be launching in the coming future. And there's a music project which she's right now doing it, which is on. It's called Batohi. We have already launched one of the single. It's on like Apple Music, Amazon, and all those things. And the second is going to be in the process. We are trying to make a remix with a lot of producers, young producers who can have some like a bass and growl basses, like a lot of like variation of the particular track. And yeah, I think that's all right now. How are we doing? And I'm also involved in my brother's project. He runs a publication house, which is called Pagal Canvas. So he started at CKP. He just passed out 2-3 years back. I think 3 years back, and he works at a gallery called Gallery Sumuka. It's in Wilson Garden. It's one of the oldest galleries of Bangalore. So I'm like helping out with having a setting up in. So they recently went to Switzerland to showcase their work. There's a festival happens in above Zurich. There's a place called Lucerne. It's called Top of Europe. So where this festival called Flumito. It's the biggest comic festival in that region. So they represented Indian mythological comics which they produced in Bangalore. One of the series it was made on it. It's called a Bangalore mapping project where 14 artists, 14 fine art artists from GKP Chitrakala, and they were given 3 color palette, and they were asked to draw whatever you get up from a morning and come to college. In that duration, whatever you see, you draw it, and only 3 color palette. And everybody saw people coming from different places, from Vijayanagar, from Mysore Road, from all the places to Chitrakala Parishad. So I think I can show you that thing. 1 second.
Sure.
So they printed in a 9 feet long scroll. Okay. So it's a 9 feet long scroll, and you see a story of 3 color palettes. Yeah. So it's like a really long thing which you keep folding, and 14 artists collaborated on this. So this is also called a Bangalore mapping project, where you see every corner of Bangalore and how the culture, diversity, and everything changes within the color palette. Because people who are coming from old Bangalore, they see a different kind of trees, different kind of houses. People are coming from the suburbs of Bangalore, like Whitefield and all those. You see really concrete things, and when you bypass MG Road, what you see, every people has a different perceptions. So it's like a visual story. I mean, it's a really long scroll which I mean, you can do it a session with my brother also. He'll be really excited, and he has done some crazy things to
For sure.
showcase and talk about. Yeah,
Sure. For sure.
and he did this. They're also launching a studio, which is a Pagal Camera studio, where litho printing, lithograph printing. So they have arranged a lot of stones from Shantiniketan, from Gujarat, and everywhere. So they will be the first studio who has litho printing in the south.
I'm so glad to
You know Jay Shrima from your college, Jay Shrima, the lecturer. I don't know which Jay Shrima.
never had him, to be honest. I never had
So
him.
yeah, he's also. I mean, he's also support. I mean, he's also part of this project, the litho. Yeah. So I've been curating stuff with artists, and I mean, I've been curating things with a lot of designers, a lot of motion graphic designers, a lot of cinema 4D designers. I mean, one of the event in 2016 we did where I mean, a guy who just passed out from NIFT Delhi, and he learned graphic design. I mean, didn't have a specific graphic designing course. It's called computer science, right? So this guy, he came to our office and he was doing something with, like, he was just interning, and he was just doing something with Cinema 4D software. I was like, and I've never seen software like that. Like, and he had opened in a big screen. So I was like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? So he's like, the Cinema 4D, you can do things on 3D, and like you can have, like, can go wild. So like I said, let's do a project. Then so we designed the entire festival, like collaterals on Cinema 4D, like the social media post and everything on Cinema 4D. Like it take the 2D to convert it into a illustration, then post it. Yeah.
Would love
So
to,
it was.
like, all of what you've said, to be very honest, and I'm just like, oh my god, how do I even cover everything that you've said in this video? I'm like, shit, like, there's so many questions like I would love to ask. But like, what like, do you think you are going to still experiment more even in the future, or like, are you more interested in again, I think curating, right? And curating can be done in various forms. As you have said, it's not just events. I think you've done music, then you've done live events. You've also worked with products, and you have showcased the creativity of the other people through this device. You've also worked with, now you're working with classical, this thing. You're also doing the documentary thing. I mean, that's a lot to like pick up. But this has been probably like, you know, a overload of insane experience, insane content creation, different, like, you, like, imagine the what do you call, a mix and layers of ideas and narrations and experiences that you must have had. I think, dude, what your Instagram shows is nothing of what, like, it's just probably like a little bit like a glimpse of what you have just said. And while I'm scrolling right now, it's insane. Like, are you into like editing? This is crazy, man. So are these pictures taken for a particular kind of for the client work or something, or this is just your visuals that you like to play around with?
Instagram is a whole different story of my life. I mean, so while I was working with a lot of designers, a lot of visual artists, so I mean, for me also, there's a blockage. Okay, when you're doing something, there's a creative blockage. Okay, and I felt design gives you somewhere a limit. Okay, you have to be inside a, like, a software and do a design. But when it came to art, the vision completely changed. Like there's no freedom. I can go like whatever I want to feel like. I mean, that was more of a creative escape, you can say, or a creative bandage where you're loaded with creative like data, like I mean, clients asking for particular requirement, colors, patterns, fonts, typography, typeface, like insane amount of things. But those are not my pickups. I mean, I maybe I wanted, if in that stage somebody would have taught me, okay, you should go learn design. Maybe I would have. I don't know. I don't know because that time when we were growing up, I mean, none of my friends are designers. None of my friends are like a school buddies. They are like a 9 to 6 good job engineers and like managers and like finance. So my thing was I was always a random things. I picked up very random things when people were not giving much attention to these things. Like when started doing artist management part of it, nobody knew what is artist management. I mean, what do you do at artist? Would you be with artist? And so when I got into the entire situation, then you learn this entire whole lot of management required to do certain kind of thing. A lot of discipline required. I mean, when you are doing an collaboration, I mean, there's a lot of it's a both hand support, right? I mean, the person you collaborating, there's a the contribution level should be a very I mean, it should be a very encouraging to participate, very participating. Very, I mean to say. So I seen. I mean, a range of artists who getting. Suppose I'm supporting a musician. Okay, so music require everybody. I mean, I'm working with Nimisha and she is singing and she's singing, she's doing art, she's doing hundreds of things. But one of the core she wants to make monetize it. It is money, which is from music, and for artists it's very difficult to have an idea to monetize. I mean, talent is pure. I mean, but how do you make money out of the talent, right? So I understood that there's a need each person require. I mean, in this planet, each person require to sustain themselves. Okay, and you contribute, you take participate, or you engage basically. I mean, so and the entire design language and the entire design thing, it comes here where you're supporting an artist. If somebody if the music is getting launched, how do you launch it? It is through a computer, it is through a software. You make artworks, you make everything, edits. So I've been just seeing lot of things, lot of softwares, but I couldn't, like, I learned, I tried learning and tried doing smaller things with clients requirement changes and all that thing, but I couldn't pick up. Like, I never wanted to be a designer. I mean, it's every, I mean, as they say, like every blink of your eyes, there's 100 hours of Premiere Pro involved, right? Those things, I don't want to be in the space where I get stuck. Okay, you have to do these things on these timelines. You do it. I started things on mobile as an app. So I invested initially, like when I had to do events, I had to go, I mean, shoot events. I had to do it from my phone, which I recorded from my phone and I edited with my phone. So I started using a lot of tools, which I watch what I'm seeing in a big screen. I can do it on a way on these apps. So I invested. I invested in a lot of apps. One of my favorite app is Glitch, which I use it for all the time. So all this, the Instagram is just an app-based. I mean, app-based designs which I bit. But this made in a progress when people ask me, oh, can I have this artwork to make my thumbnail of SoundCloud or maybe thumbnail of Spotify? Then I see an opportunity. Okay, I mean, if people, if something, if the platform is like free, where you're showcasing, then you are himself, you are a product. I mean, how do I sell myself right now? I mean, the Instagram is free, YouTube is free, and now you have to be there and make things happen there. Though digital was my background, but I didn't want it to come out as a like a like an influencer or because I knew a lot of people. I collaborated with a lot of people like Samresh is I mean, I know the whole crew because I collaborated. Like Outbox project has done a lot of work with me. So in Hyderabad, I was managing Microsoft as a client. Okay, I was taking Microsoft India is their client, and I was doing their content project. So suppose in So Microsoft India is campus is the biggest campus in the country, and this is just close to ISB, if you know, in Hyderabad, the same boundary. It's a huge campus, ISB Hyderabad. So and Microsoft runs, it's a very community things where happen. I mean, so I was curating content for them. Whatever events is to happen, I have to plan audio, sound, and how the edit will go, how this content will go on the LinkedIn channels. This will go on the global channels. So I curated with the best of the people in the scene, where they were producing music, but I given opportunity to do bigger things with Microsoft as a client, like Google as a client, Deloitte as a client, giving them opportunity to work with this kind of organization. So my collaboration is I have done uh, like short movies for corporates, you call it, where so every year there's a global campaign happens where Fortune 500 companies participate. It's called Great Place to Work. So and in there's a boom, every company was just participating in even to get nominated as well. So every company require a big video, like a big video which can show their life as a, like what are they. So I did those kind of films with this kind of crews. So I know the lot of people in Bombay who are like doing this kind of creative things, and a lot of content has been shot from our events, which they have their portfolios for them. So yeah, I mean, creative side of things happened. Instagram was more of an having people around me knowing, giving me ideas about you should do this, you should. And I was very quick on my phone. I was like, photos on my phone are really quick. I do a lot of shoot on my phone, man. I recently did I was traveling to North Karnataka, Shimoga. Yeah, somewhere around. So there's a coastal, the entire Western Ghats. I was traveling with a travel blogger who is doing a campaign of Incredible India, which is called Dekho Apna Desh. So I was entire content has been shot from my phone, like the reels, the videos, and out of which I mean the dump, I pick it up for myself and post it on my Instagram. So that's how things came to my Instagram, like the dump, the scrap things. I should do about something about this picture, make it fix and get it into Instagram. And these apps really give me a really cool vision to be around the space. I mean, though if the app gets shut, I have to figure out something else. But that's how it is.
So, like this, I could relate to this because what you were saying is even I pretty much started off experimenting my self portraits, self photography. I don't like to keep myself in the frames. I was like, okay, probably take this as a challenge and just try to express myself through photography, be it poetic or be it anything else. So I was like, I started using my phone a lot. And as you said, you started exploring apps also, right? When you say like there's glitch, now I have to like search glitch because you mentioned it. So I'm like, oh, wait, I'm going to do that. But I think phone is much more convenient than any device as of now because it's just so quick, man. Like, and I think phone has better cameras nowadays, so might as well.
Whole idea of Instagram was instant. Okay, instant. So and the phone apps gave us very instant thing to go, like anything in the. I mean, these apps you have to really practice. So I have been doing this. If you see my Instagram, you scroll down, they are very amateur things. When you scroll up, things have improved. The colors have changed. So I did a pattern of, okay, I'll do only like monochrome style. I'll be doing. So I mean, when you think about aesthetic by yourself, no, you will start planning. Okay, should I go? And then suddenly a blockage comes. Okay, I can't do any more black and white. I want to do something else. So I started discovering futuristic colors, like which colors are not available on regular Instagrammers. So I mean, I have to explore so much. I mean, it's not just it's a very long process. I don't know where I will end up or I will not end. There's no, no idea about it.
That's the best part. Isn't that the best part of the process? Like you see that photo right now, and then you're like, probably 10 days later, I'm going to see something very different on my own feed. I think that's the most engaging part because like I sometimes scroll through my own feed and I'm like, okay, this is such a transition, like
Yeah.
from photo to that.
And even your vision changes every time you like look at your own things. Okay, what am I doing, and what I like, how the transition happened, and how your thoughts getting. So I initially I thought, I mean, I started liking a lot of geometric and symmetric patterns. Okay, it really excites me and really like encourages to do more about, like, more like go wild, like go psych about it. So I started, I mean, once you get, I mean, these apps are really addicted because I mean, it's a fun. I mean, like how people spend gaming all the time on their phone. It's like
Just
these apps are that kind of,
just playing around with
yeah,
this.
I mean, you are just playing with a lot of things, and you find something which is like, fuck, this can happen. Like one of those. So these are the things I mean, experimenting. I think it might get stuck if you stop practicing. Maybe, I mean, if you constantly, suppose you're doing and you are talking to people in a regular basis, but you take little time to edit and go about publishing. So that process never stops. I mean, that is a longer process. I mean, talking to people is a 1 day and a 1 hour job, but going through what the plan is, to how the idea can evolve to a bigger and larger picture, and make it, I mean, make it, I mean, I don't know, I mean, how things flow.
And see, podcast is one thing, okay.
Yeah.
Podcast is one, and then visually, when you're narrating that story, um, firstly I want to give that experience to people. When you talk about that Metallica concert, you know, that picture just like blows up in your head. When, of course, like right now when we're chatting, okay, maybe, but I have like a complete different thing. So probably putting that on, like, on this video just gives, I think, a more like this experience of being there and being in the story. And I think that is more important to me, and getting
There's a,
all
there's a huge
everyone.
history behind this. And I mean, each concert has a very good documented history behind this. If you research on Google Metallica concert, you will be finding so many articles, so many PR, that you will go psych. I mean, what had happened this event? Like, this large scale event has not happened in our country, where people are flying from Malaysia to Singapore.
You know that, and I'm just like, this is like being in India. Like, of course, it was 2011. I wasn't in Bangalore and all of that, but I didn't know all of this, right? And like this side of events that used to happen like before. And dude, you have had insane like a range of things. What do you think was the best part of the whole process? Like, what's the best part of all of what you've done?
I think people who inspired me, and like very like-minded people who maybe I look at them as a mentor, though they might not know that I am who I am, but start following them on, like, in the real life, like what are they doing, and where are they participating, and uh, what kind of decisions they are making. And like, when right now the crisis with the music scene, like nothing is happening, and how people are trying to deal those things. So those things matters. I mean, I because events you meet, each event at least you will meet like 50-60 people, like on your contact list, because you're coordinating with hundreds of people. Plus, if you're doing a like a public event, like a b2 like a b2c, where you directly encouraging, where this Writers Music Festival, 15,000 people came, and all of these 15,000 people, I mean, I have a record that who was bought ticket on what time, so I know who is who. So that kind of things, you when you start developing, I think you know the whole world kind of a thing. So where I have met people, like, I have not met people, but people know me kind of a situation. Like, I've gone to an event that they pointed out to me, you works at Phoenix and you do this, I've seen you somewhere. I'm like, whoa man, I don't know. I mean, because when you're even you're busy, you're flip, your side is like, you're on fire, you don't know who's who. But when you sit on like one of the events in Delhi, I was sitting at the box office. Though my job was, I mean, there was a fight happening at box office, so I had to go in the box office and sort out like the VIP gets placed and all those things. Like, the sponsors have their own batches, you have to give them and all these things. So there were the couple of guys came and I was like, dude, we have met. I mean, the guest list scenes are really, really hectic when it comes to events. I mean, people just come from somewhere and they say, I know you, we have been there, we did that. Like, whoa. So I think people who have got, I mean, this entire industry, it's not B2B, not B2C, it is H2H, like human to human, how the entire industry works. So yeah, and people have inspired me a lot. I mean, looking at their work, like one of the art directors at the agency I was working in Delhi, he's recently got 430 under 30 as a art community art. So I mean, you are, I mean, are you seeing people who have already been in the fire, like they are already, irregular studio in Delhi, Kilki Extension Studio, Irregular Fest. It's an art community fest where they, so it's a big, I mean, the design scene is big in Delhi and Bombay. I mean, a lot of people, the creative sides are really, really involved because people I have seen a lot of people who have studied design from different countries, like different universities, and come back and started their own boutique houses. So the idea evolves there. I mean, your experience is from like New Zealand or in UK. A lot of people go to New Zealand because a creative hub, they call it creative hub, in a lot of creative colleges are in New Zealand. So, I mean, even the advertising, the core Ogilvy's and all the world of like WPP companies, I mean, New Zealand they try the best of the advertising. I mean, so some advertising you see, there's a self-made, right? And a self-contributed as a brand. So which are sponsored and experimented in mostly in Netherlands, mostly in New Zealand, where you see the wildest things happening, like, Droga5, the website. So they are the biggest creative agencies in the world. So all those guys, they produce. There's a festival happens in Barcelona, which is the biggest design festival in right now. It's called off triple F Barcelona. So where the sponsors are IBM, Adobe. So whatever the best technology in design space, like something, suppose Adobe gonna come up with a machine learning in the coming in where they will give you a platform like how Adobe Premiere Rush has come. Do you know what Rush? What software do you use?
Dude, I just use two right now. I did use Adobe After Effects, but like, dude, after Shishti, it's just been like, it's completely off. And then I got very busy with my hands. And then now I'm just trying to explore my digital marketing side. And I started exploring platforms where I can make, my website. But then at the end, I thought storytelling and allegedly having the best part about what I really love about this whole process is meeting and sharing stories and having random conversations, man. I think I was very comfortable just, randomly talking to a stranger and like exchanging ideas and all of that. So I I think got that over here, and now I'm exploring this side of me. So it's like, it's just been like very off, like from everywhere. So I've also been studying business, but then I'm also studying automobile industry. I'm also studying, again, I'm doing this also at the side. So it's just been crazy, but like I'm loving this. Like in the morning, you just go and do this office thing, and then in the night, like you like have this conversations and it's just been so inspiring, to be very honest. And I don't plan to stop anytime soon about this, but I hope I can make this a little larger. I don't know, but like now
But
since I've
I mean, thoughts for this entire concept, what you are coming up with. Basically, I mean, I mean, collaboration is the process, is the way forward. Okay. And how do you collaborate and how do you uplift the content, what you're going to produce? Like, suppose, I mean, I mean, you found me somewhere randomly and you asked me out and I was like, yeah, cool. I mean, I have been doing these kind of things for a while now. I mean, I just did a podcast. It was a very fun podcast, but I see your perception of being in the space of design. I mean, a lot of people lack I mean, since you study design, you know certain things, certain colors, certain process of fixing things. You might not be practicing, but you know to fix things, which can go digitally live, and things can be taken really coolly. I mean, since this is the future. I mean, this is internet is the future, and how we are connecting each other unknowingly, but knowingly, lot of things, right? So you can, I mean, you can like you can segregate your, I mean, initial, not, this is not the current right now you have to do, but you can have your collaborations tie up where you get to enhance their work. Okay, since you I'll give you an example. uh, Suppose Nimisha is going to launch her music right now. Okay, so she is ready to, she's prep to go out and launch about, talk about a lot of things. So the excitement you building here, like getting to the quick things, like yesterday there were two music launches happened. Every Friday there's the indie independent artist only, and artists could be multi-dimensional. I mean, there's no restriction of having people who know this thing, that know that thing. So you're having a people who are ready to, like person like you, who you find a person like you who is also like that same level of vibing and same level enthusiasm coming out to produce the content, right? So maybe I can help you getting people's influenced people who can come and talk, who can enhance their practice as well, because talking live is also, I mean, it's not a, not everybody who come and like come live, right? For me, every talent is who is not been recognized or not been seen. That is where he has, I mean, somebody who has a potential to make it change, like who can go, who can never thought about how the process works. I mean, I know certain artists who are working really hard but never got, I mean, and their processes are so simple. It's a simple way of living. I mean, how artists, I mean, even for any change, who stand ups is the artist. That's what the people, I mean, if you look at any of the biggest leader, okay, like Rabindranath Tagore, any of the, they were writers. They were writers and they made a change. So any activist, if you see, they were into some creative process where they didn't like it and they wanted to offend about it. Like biggest of the I mean, the freedom fighters, like Mahatma Gandhi himself was a writer, right? So he was a contributor. Then only he understand the change. So maybe I can help you out, people who are really like trying to build themselves right now and want somebody to help, somebody to like be a partner and come. Let's talk about something which nobody talks about it. Like I mean, I mostly talk about a lot of music stuff, a lot of collaboration, a lot of content, a lot of marketing stuff. I also I consult with a lot of agencies where I give them ideas how to how to have content, how to produce content for their brands, how to do a photo shoot which is very quick and easy and go. I mean, you can directly go to the Instagrams and things.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm going to take a lot of your time, but thank you again. Thank you so much again for doing
Yeah,
this. Much appreciated. Yeah. Great,
yeah.
great, great. Okay. Chalo, chalo.
I'm gonna
Yeah. Take care and stay safe. And all the best for your documentaries that are going to come out. Would love to like watch them. All right.
right.
Okay. Peace. Bye.